So good afternoon, September the 4th, 2014. This is CISG114, Section 1, Web Technology and Life, in the second class of the second week of the semester. So let's get started. Good afternoon, welcome back to this class, the second class in the second week of the semester. If you look at the white screen, it's day number 4 for this course, CISG114, Section 1. So we are going to discuss something in this particular small block, okay? But before we get into this, let me remind you. So the incompleted video for the first week, okay? I have not uploaded the second one yet, but the first one is already there. So if you click on the link here, you can see parts of the video last week, and I'm going to upload the one on August the 28th, very soon, today, okay? So this is just a reminder. And then for those of you who have not actually finished reading the syllabus, it's important for me to bring you back here, yes, right here, in the course home. And I would like to spend about 5 to 10 minutes time elaborating on these 3 important things, okay? Normally, if you heed my advice, you should have finished reading all this link, okay, including the syllabus. But if you have not, allow me to spend this 5 minutes to 10 minutes time to remind you all of this, and hopefully this will help to clear your confusions. Now, this is a general education program. This course is part of the general education program. And according to the school, University of Macau, we do have some program intended learning outcomes for general education program. Now, this year, we're in the process of refining those pinos, but these pinos have been used for the past 3 years. So let's get into the pinos for the general education program at the University of Macau, okay? Program intended learning outcomes. We have 7 program intended learning outcomes for this particular general education program at the University of Macau, and each instructor of any general education course must design your learning experience based on how much of these 7 essential titles that we would like to give you some experience in the process of learning in a particular course. So let's walk through it. Now, at the end of your general education experience at the University of Macau, we would like you to understand and use your subject-specific knowledge in each particular course. And in this course is web technology and its implications in life, impacts. Use this knowledge to engage with questions. That means you can discuss something with anybody with some sense about how web technology and life are interrelated. Well, both contemporary and enduring. That means be it problems or be it a concern that you have with solutions or not, okay? Be it it's a today or be it it's something which is going to have values for the rest of your life. So we would like to see if we succeed in helping you to make the best use of the knowledge you can pick up from this course and apply it to discuss some issues in your living, and that is web technology and life. Second, we want to see if you can share your ideas effectively, the ideas you acquire in the learning of this course, in writing format or in speaking format, okay? So be it in a formal situations like in an interview or in a discussions with anybody, or informally over lunch or over dinner or any casual conversations. But you can demonstrate that you have the knowledge, that you have put some thought into thinking about the impact of web technology in your living. Third, we want to see if you can learn something to manage your own life, particularly your learning and development aspect. We would like to see if you can understand the meaning of personal development planning or professional development planning. That means whatever you do in any course of your study, with the amount of time you're willing to spend, you should see some consequences of your time span, okay? And how the time spent doing something meaningful in your learning is related to your personal development later in your living. So, time management is one very important skill or habit of learning. And organizational skill, how do you organize for your learning and knowledge development, as well as your lifelong learning, which means you have to have it to learn rather than being taught to learn, right? So, and the fourth one is, how can we see that after doing some general education courses, and especially in this program, you could develop in yourself the ability to think critically and the ability to problem solve. How can we see that? And how can you know that? So thinking critically could be developed in each person's. And so in this course, we try to train you from something very fundamental. We invite you to take notes. Just in any other course, we invite you to take notes. But we invite you to first select a topic of interest to take notes with. In other words, we would like to enable you to do some interest-based exploration, and then when you take notes based on that topic of interest, you are going to discover more on your own. Now, the way we try to introduce one practical method of developing a critical thinking is to do an OIA-based note-taking format, which is called journaling for your thinking. So, if you know that, as I mentioned on Monday, I'm going to introduce you something more specific about OIA, which is related to our online activities in the course. But simply put, we would like you to be able to observe with a specific goal of gathering data. We would like to ensure that you have the ability to question with the specific goal of making sense of something. And we would like you to be able to apply with the specific goal of lessons learned after every piece of time that you're willing to spend exploring it. So with that, OIA patterns of thinking or problem solving, that could be the basis of how we measure the development of individuals, of you in a class, and see how comfortable you could become in doing thinking along this format. And basically it's quite logical. Whatever you try to express yourself, we want to see what are you trying to tell us based on what topic. Okay, based on a specific topic you can name, what can you tell us as an observable evidence of your thinking based on the topic of interest, based on your questions, or based on your lessons learned. And with that, when you are faced with a challenge, could you share with us a little bit about your strategies to solve the problem? Okay, so it's a very interesting thing to see. And also we would like you to be specifically able to interpret the questions essentially and synthesize a range of information exemplar. That means to put together something that is unique of your signature. People can put things together. Everybody can put things together, but the way you put things together to present your perspective or to solve a particular problem could be different, and that makes a lot of difference. So the way to interpret and the way to synthesize, put things together, and then demonstrate a personal and social responsibility. You definitely understand the meaning of personal responsibility, because you know that if you do not hand in your homework, you will lose the grade for that homework. And you know that if you fail to hand in all the homework, you will fail a particular course. So it's a personal matter. So in order to accomplish that, you exercise personal responsibility to fulfill your obligations. But what does it mean by social responsibility? Well, you're going to do a lot of peer work, teamwork, task force work. This means it's not just one person's responsibility. It's the group in which you are affiliated with requires of you to fulfill not just your personal responsibility, but a group-based responsibility for the success of the whole group. So if you're not willing to be obliged to complete your duties as a group member, you're losing ground as a social responsible person. So that is the basis for your ethical reasoning and actions. I reason it properly that since I'm a member of the pair, a member of the group, I can sacrifice my grade, but I cannot sacrifice the grade of my pair partner. I have no right to take away his grade just because I don't want my grade. So if I do not do my part, she or he is going to suffer. So ethical reasoning tells me I must fulfill my responsibility and do something properly according to the agreements of the group members. Now because of that, you have to exercise a lot of interpersonal competency. You need to communicate your ideas with others. You need to communicate your difficulties with others. You need to communicate sympathies with others, true. And then you need to learn how to engage with diverse community. That means you may be put in a situations to work with people you don't like. Difficult people that sometimes make you feel very much ugly. You do not want to work with them. But in the real world, challenges are you are compelled to do something that you may not like. And you have to learn how to live with people, difficult persons, and deal with them. To engage with diverse community, different people, right, different ideas, but the bottom line is I have my responsibility to fulfill. I will give you my portions of respect to work with you. And then I want to have an appreciated atmosphere to complete the job rather than adversarial. So it's very important here. Finally, the word integrative and applied learning are very important. Today, you are taking this course, Web Technology and Life, and hours later, you're going to take another course. And earlier, you take many other courses. But now, the responsibility of you as an individual is going to integrate your learning from different courses and try to put it in a framework of ideas, of knowledge, that you can make the best use of them. That's why your Mahara portfolio is very important. How do you connect your learning to your experiences from different areas of your studies and apply them usefully and constructively to synthesize and to push forward your accomplishment? Not just in the traditional settings like tests, examinations, get a good grade. No, in today's world, it's very competitive. You need not just a good grade, but ability to express it. And so, in your residential college, we highly encourage you to learn knowledge from one domain and try to apply the knowledge in another domain and put your experiences in your e-portfolio. Write some reflections there and see how comfortable you become in learning to apply knowledge in different settings based on your specialized areas of knowledge. Wow, it's a challenge. It's always a challenge. It's a lifelong challenge, even for us all. So, these 7 pinos are very important. All of us instructor in general education courses, when we design our learning activity, we will have to ask ourselves, what can this activity that I'm inviting my student to complete in this class to contribute to the various aspects of these pinos? So in the context of my design, if you have already finished reading it, you know that I have condensed the learning objective in this course into 3 very simple statements of work. And I want to help each student taking this course to become literate, learn something about this field called the latest web technologies in the intellect era, and learn of the impact of such technologies in our daily living using concrete examples, simple concrete examples, so you can make sense of them. So I will show you many examples, not just talk, not just words, but videos, lifelong stories, to help you understand the impact of things like this. The second thing is, I would like to encourage each and every one of you to learn how to formulate and express your views on, what does it mean by formulate? Be able to think your way and express your way. About what? To design the web tools and the design of web applications in modern society. Basically, I encourage you to look up stories that are worthy to spread. Call it case study. Some of your work, you discover it after your reading. Some of your conversations in class, and also, besides listening to you as an individual speaker, we would like you to help us to discuss about the issue you bring about in class. So be ready that we would like to listen to you, listen to your way of thinking and the way you believe are important in today's work concerning web tools. And of course, the prerequisite is you need to understand what are web tools and web applications in your living. Okay? And finally, the third one is how to move the bar of your understanding from this to that, but it's not just an understanding, it's your awareness. What's the meaning of awareness? Your concerns about things called the impact of web technologies in our daily living. Well, we have this important problem among many teenagers in South Korea. I do not know about North Korea. Many teenagers become addicted to intellect usage. They cannot live without intellect. And many of the teenagers between the age of 15 and 25 die because of excess usage of intellect. They virtually do not leave the computer. And many died already, exhausted, without understanding why, because these widespread focus on the web inference in various sectors in our modern living will become some concerns of our explorations. And we are going to learn any impact on that through something called critical discourses. Discourses just like lessons, but lessons learned from different ways could have different impact in our life. If I just talk and tell you stories about it, you can only understand this much. If I bring you into the worlds of other real-life figures and let you experience life, you will see the difference. Let me tell you this. Many teenagers in the United States and Europe between the age of 10 and 18 actually committed suicide because of their connections with MySpace, Facebook, or some other social media. Why? Well, the connection itself is neutral, but the interaction between different people become critical. And one form of suicide resulted from a key term called cyberbullying or cyberstalking. People get connected in their virtual communities of friends, and all of a sudden they were attacked psychologically through the web. People put a lot of insult into a particular person after they know some basic understanding of that person's. And kids between the age of 10 and 16 have that kind of thinking that they become useless, worthless, and are the reasons of all the bad things in the world. They commit suicide and virtually take them away from this world. It's outrageous, but it happened, okay? For purposeful human endeavors, okay? Well, again, but another aspect of the intellect is we discovered that many good things also happen, particularly how the strong could help the weak, how many could help the small in the community to solve problems. So we need to understand those. So these are the course learning objective, but other than the course learning objective, we still have something we want to share with you. Course learning objectives are mainly the teacher's expectations of what we can achieve with the students. But when the students have achieved something, we would like to measure it through the course intended learning outcome. These are things students are supposed to be able to do at the end of the course learning. So they are action-wise. How do we define action-wise work? Well, when you look at the course intended learning outcome, these are called the silos. You can see that each of the descriptions of, we have 6 here, each of the 6 descriptions of the silo start with a verb, action. For example, conduct discourse to make sense of IT in today's knowledge society. If you remember correctly, last Monday, we somehow get in touch with a question which is located in week number 1. It said, is web technology making my life better? Okay? Now, once you have already put some thinking into this question, when you share that, when you share your thinking with your learning partner, you are actually conducting a discourse with your learning partner to help one another learn better about the issue of its web technology making my life better. Means it's the idea in today's knowledge society makes sense. Okay? The second one is compare. Again, another action verb. Different Web 2.02. Oh, let me tell you one thing more. Starting from 1994 to 2004, that is what we call the first 10 years of the web technology. In this first 10 years of web technology, we call it Web 1.0 loosely. And it's characterized by mostly information-based. You come to a website to learn some information about this, and the website is largely one way for you to read. Starting from 2004 up to now 2014, we characterize the second 10 years, 14 years of the web technology as Web 2.0. But some people start characterizing Web 3.0 back in 2010, but it's not mature yet. So Web 2.0 is still largely the term we use to characterize today's web technology, including tools. So how can we compare different tools under the big umbrella of Web 2.0 so as we understand its usage in research, in studies, in commerce? Well, and engage in collaborations as well as participate in communications. Now, we are using Moodle. Moodle is actually combinations of different Web 2.0 tools. And of course, the first two tools you're going to use is the journal, which is an electronic notebook. The second is an online discussion forum. So these are two Web 2.0 tools. And what do you need them for? As a journal is an electronic notebook. You use it to keep track of your learning from reading. As for the discussion forum, you use it to communicate with your learning partner. And number three is how you're going to discuss and illustrate the use of. Now, the difference between discuss and illustrate is discuss could be in written format, it could also be in conversational format. Illustrate means give example to make something simple, okay? So how do you discuss and give examples to make something simple, to make people understand? One, write blogs. Blogs you need to write. Remember, in the learning contract, it's a reflective blog to keep a learning journal for reflective practice. Second is wikis. This is a very special type of web page in which not just one person could join, but many people could join together at the same time to do things together. So it can facilitate project collaborations, particularly report writing. Photo sharing. You can take a digital camera or your mobile devices, take a lot of pictures and then upload it to Facebook or any other photo sharing website like Flickrs, that you can start sharing the links with other people. Social bookmarking, exactly, you need the link to share with other people. So you bookmark things, not just locally using your internet browser, but globally as a cloud-based resource. And then RSS is basically something like a syndicate columnist, in like a newspaper. It will push the material to each one of you as long as you're subscribed to that. So it's a very convenient way to get access to update information, just like the news gathering agency. Do you understand why when you read news at 6:30 each day or 7 o'clock each day, no matter which news stations you watch, they have a similar set of news items globally? And definitely locally, they should be able to find out some more. The reason is very simple. Around the world, there's several major news agencies with reporters around the world. And each day, the job is to put things together and push those news globally to different regions, particular television stations, radio stations, or newspaper agency. And so they could pick up the same set of news, but they could provide different perspective. That's why you need to read news from more than one agency, from more than one TV station, so that experienced journalists, editors could provide different views. RSS it functions very much like this. You provide some information online, many other people also provide information online, but how can you get those information? I subscribe to your channel, I subscribe to your channel, and I subscribe to your channel. So every day, your channel will definitely push material into my account so that I can read them very carefully. Go to the library website, and the library website, also in our Moodle website, you can see our RSS information feed from our library, from other agencies too. Side number 4 is using social networking software like Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn to create your personal profile, including your Mahara, okay, for specific purposes. Your personal profile is very important. It's your registrations of who you are, so that when people come to visit a particular social network, they recognize your presence because of your profiles there. And you can share messages, just like in Facebook with your friend, join specific Facebook group for your class or for your interest group, and manage different information which is open for sharing in the social media. Okay, side number 5 is to differentiate. Differentiate means tell the differences, okay? In the context of applications, metadata. Metadata are data which is used to organize some data for easy referencing. For example, in the library, we have a Library of Congress cataloging system, which is universal in many libraries. So that you have a catalog core number for each book. And by reading on the letter in that core number, you can tell whether this is a science book, a philosophy book, a humanities book. There is a system behind. So the system is based on some kind of metadata. Tag means a label. It's a label. Oh, this is CISG114 is a label. So that when you see that label, you come in. And then tagging is labeling. Taxonomy is another word for categories. Different categories of courses, even under our general education program. We have 13 categories. We have 4 major areas. So Mashup is the combinations of several interesting web tools. I think Moodle is a very good example. Mashup. It put together a lot of different tools, journal, discussion forum, wikis, and you also have multimedia stuff. And so that you can, as a teacher, mix things up and produce a particular application which is going to use up all of this. Okay? It's remixing provided by different internet application vendor, for example, Google, YouTube, now YouTube is under Google, to create customized applications. For example, in the context of e-learning, we have Moodle. In the context of social web, we have Facebook. E-business model, we have Amazon's. In other web services like e-government in Macau, we call it e-pass. So learn something much more about this and the differences behind the architect's concept. And so the last one, silo, is called you need to have the experience to work productively as part of a team and communicate and present information effectively in written, in oral, and also in electronic form in a collaborative environment. That means you work together with your fellow students. So I have used about 10 to 15 minutes to walk you through all of these, okay? I hope you should have finished reading them. If not, make sure you come back and read them very carefully. Look at that. Each silo is related to a specific set of course learning outcomes, and each course learning outcome is also related to a specific set of nodes. So you can see the concept of developing, or better say the concept of learning development for you when I design this course. So it's traceable. One thing you're doing is directly contributes to a specific node, which is related to a particular course learning objective. Having said that, now let me come back to this particular week. Week number 2, we are concerned with the common module number 1, which is Introductions to Information Technologies and Knowledge Society. And we are in learning contract number 1, and the theme of learning contract number 1 is inquiry-based learning. Now, ask yourself this question: what is meant by inquiry-based learning? I told you, questions. But what does it mean by questions? I'm going to show you some ideas from 2 students, okay?
So, Jamie, can you give us a definition of IBL?
Well, I think it's quite difficult to define IBL. I think it means a lot of different things to different people, depending on whether you're a member of staff or a student or what kind of discipline or subject you're doing. But I think in kind of general terms, it's about putting questions and ideas at the centre of learning, so student investigations and getting students to do research instead of kind of finding out the answers for themselves, instead of directing them and telling the answer and expecting them to remember it. I think people learn and remember things and are able to reuse them much more effectively if they've found them out for themselves than if they've just been told it and expected to remember it.
Hi Laura, can you give us a definition of IBL, please?
For me, inquiry-based learning, there isn't one answer. So I would have to say that it's a real variety of things. It can be working alone, independently, going away and researching something for yourself, and really making the topic your own, making the information your own, and then creating your own knowledge base. Or it can equally be network learning, so a combination of working with different people within staff, but also with other sort of peers, other students. And again, sort of researching through sort of discussion and then evaluating the information that you've got and then turning that again into a new knowledge base through your inquiry.
Hello. So inquiry-based learning can be many things. What do you think? Now, most of you have now found your learning partner. So in the next 5 minutes to 10 minutes, I would like you to sit together with your learning partner. You can see the right and the left side of this room are set in 2 chairs each. So you and the learning partner occupy 1 row, 2 chairs, and you spend time 5 minutes talking with your learning partner. What do you think? IBL. Okay? Is the learning partner here today? No? Is the learning partner here today? Not yet. So maybe the 2 of you could pair together temporary. Okay? So for those of you who got your learning partner, please feel free to occupy rows on the left and right, but not in the middle. Not in the middle, okay? Not in the middle. So go ahead and just get yourself up, and you're doing excellent because you're already sitting over here. Are you a pair? Alright, that's good. Is your learning partner here today? No. Is your learning partner here today? Yes. Please look for your learning partner and sit together with him or her on either right or left. Is your learning partner here today? No. You can sit, you can talk with him first, just for the sake of this discussion. Can you go back to the lady's chair so that she does not need to move? So, and for those of you who got your learning partner, just move to your left or to your right and sit together with your learning partner. It's Saturday night, 2 chairs each, so it's good for you to do discussions. 5 minutes to 10 minutes, IBL could be many things. What do you think? All right, this is your discussion topic. Now you must separate. Okay, go there. Okay, you can come here with this lady. Okay, so 5 minutes. Grab your learning partner to the other side. Oh, by the way, in case you have not got your learning partner, please come down here and let me know. Okay. In case you've not got your learning partner, just come down here and let me know. Just grab 1 row, okay, on your left and on your right. So, wow, we have many more people here on this side, looks like, and we have some people there. That's pretty good. We have empty chairs in between now. 5 minutes. Please help yourself to discover for your pair, temporary, it could be, what does it mean by IBL? Based on your peers' understanding. Okay, you just have 2 students sharing with you their perspective on IBL. Since we're doing IBL for the first learning contract, we want to make sure you will have your personal idea on IBL. All right, and at the end of the discussions, we are going to interview each pair and give you a microphone to share a little bit of your finding. Okay, please go ahead. 5 minutes on your own. 5 minutes IBL. Can you find one? Is the learning partner here? Have you already got the learning partner? Not yet? Okay, so you definitely have not your learning partner yet, right? So maybe you can join this pair for the sake of this discussions, okay? Can you do that? Alright? So please go ahead and ask yourself this very essential question. What is IBL? What do you think as a peer? All right?
You're quite polite instead of speaking up. You're free to speak up, okay?
Please do not be shy. Yes, do you have any question before? IBL means inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning. IBL means inquiry-based learning. All right. Learning. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's already there in day number 3. That means this is a topic for this past Monday. So you must come up with some kind of personal opinion on what IBL means for you and your peer, okay? Because you're doing a lot of discussions this days based on this concept. Now, for those of you who want to know something more, definitely this is a paper you need to read, okay? Very simple paper on first-year students using IBL to learn, okay? You can definitely understand it. I'm going to give you time up to 3:25, and then we'll walk through your idea using 5 to 10 minutes before we come to the second half of today's class. You have to have this important conversations with your learning partner. I hear some thunders outside. Maybe it's going to rain. Oh, yes, yes. Do you have any ideas yet? IBL for you? You need to know something about this because you're going through the IBL process in the first learning contract. Now, definitely if you have a question, you raise your hand. I will come to your peer and give you my possible suggestions. This is a very polite and courtesy class that you understand the meaning of it. So during this time, my students peer-based discussions to learn something more about their personal ideas on IBL. I hope that they would make the best use of this time. And in a minute, I'm going to invite them to share their ideas. Oh sure, definitely. You can go back to the Moodle environment and watch some other videos to get some more ideas. You're more than welcome to do it now or after the class in order to make sure you have some ideas. Now, as a teacher, I highly recommend that you should have study some of those things at home before, during, and even after each class. These are very useful links to videos to give you ideas of what we're going to go through. Okay? You have 2 more minutes. Let me get ready the microphone. Okay, I got my voice from here. Hello. Hello, hello. This is stronger, obviously. It's not as strong as possible. Okay, you got it. I got a new frequency now. It's much better. You got it. In the meantime, allow me to take attendance for today. We need to take attendance starting from today, okay? So, your name, when your name is called, you just need to raise your hand. So, let's see. Eva, are you here? Thank you very much. Priscilla, thank you. Jackson, thank you. Ken, thank you. Got Ho. Do you hear Got Ho? Not here. Okay. Quan Yin. Are you here? Quan Yin. Thank you. Xiao. Thank you. I'm sorry, I can't see you. Eric. Are you here, Eric? Okay. And then Shenron. Are you here? No. Are you excused? Let me double check. Martin, thank you. Because some of you have to go to do an exercise or something like this. Winnie, thank you. Jeff, thank you. April, thank you. Miranda, thank you. Xiao Yan, not here, okay. Jeffy, okay. Mickey, thank you. Okay, so Suting, thank you. Annabelle, thank you. Ga Yan, it's not here. Joel, yes. Gagi, it's not here. Gaho. Okay. Saigai, thank you. Chin Fai, okay, not here. Gai, thank you. Tommy, thank you. Miko, thank you. So, Yi Shun, thank you. Sylvie, are you here? Not here? Okay. So anybody whose name is not Paul, okay, anyway, that's one way to give attendance. Only good for less than 15 persons. More than 50, we need to use scan. All right.
So may I invite individual peer to share a little bit of your ideas on IBL? Let's start from here. All right. Just feel free to share. It's okay. What do you think, the two of you? IBL.
We think that IBL describes approaches to learning that are based on the investigation of questions, scenarios, problems, often by assisted by a facilitator.
Thank you very much. Facilitator is very important. Okay, anything your partner would like to add? Okay, that's good enough. You can pass the microphone to the next peer. Now you can comment or give them feedback before you can give your own, if you like.
We think that IBL means teach students by the way that suits their styles, and they work in groups and everyone can take on their various tasks. Rather than simply present the facts to them, do not tell them all the things and let them discover by themselves. Provide a lot of situation for them to discuss and creating question of their own, explaining the evidence to answer.
Wow, it's very complete. Now, I think it's very systematic. Thank you very much. Do you have any comments on what you hear?
I think
Yes.
it's let the student solve their problem by themselves and do their project do their project in group.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, you can pass the microphone to your peer partners and they can help partners say something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We think that IBL is a form of active learning.
Oh, what do you think? It's actually very good.
It actually, kind of connects to it because what we know from IBL is that you learn from. Wait, hold up. We learn by. It's a way of learning.
Right.
IBL.
Right.
We ask our own questions
Okay.
and we answer our own questions.
Right.
And knowledge is built from experience and process, like group discussions.
Okay.
And we think kind of connects to active learning.
So I think it's very good and you're connecting it very well. Yes.
And that's all.
Okay. Do you want to give your partner something? Okay, it's good. So what do you think? Do you have anything more to add or you have your different set of opinions?
We think IBL is a kind of active learning. Is maybe one student after he or she listen to the class, then he find he or her own interesting in. Then he create a topic or a question by themselves and then search the information from the internet and answer their own question. So that.
I think you provide a very interesting process-based picture of what IBL is. They have to do a number of things, and then before they could have the answers, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add? Okay. Could you pass the microphone to this pair? Yes. What do you think?
We think IBL is teacher gives question to students and they need to discuss themselves and give a solution. And students may get the solution individually, but not all answer given by his or her teacher.
Okay, I think you make a very good point. Even in the context of IBO, it does not mean the student can choose whatever they want to study within the confines of a course setting. Because within the confines of a course setting, just as what we are doing, we have to come up with something which could fulfill the course objectives. Okay? Very good. Very good. Now, let me move on to this side of the room. Okay. So, may I pass the microphone to this lady? Yes. Could you share with us something about your understanding of IBL?
I think IBL is an active learning process.
Okay.
We will meet some questions.
Right.
And we should to solve these questions.
Yes.
In the process, we need to find some file